Good morning,
Good
Rabbi.
morning.
Good Kodesh.
Good Chodesh, Chodesh Tov. We are learning Mishna Gittin, Parak Aleph, Chapter 1, Mishnah Mishnah 4. Okay, so we have been discussing until now what we call a get, a bill of divorce for a woman. Then now we're going to discuss something else called Shichrurei Avodim, the freedom given to a slave. So if the Torah has laws about owning a non-Jewish slave, and if you want to free a non-Jewish slave, you have to give him a shikhr. You got to give him a document of freedom. And the way they explain this here is, in the notes, a Canaanite slave, meaning a non-Jewish slave, is more than just his owner's property. He has a bond with his owner that gives him a unique status. For example, a slave is required to keep all the mitzvahs that Jewish women are obligated to keep. When he is freed, he becomes a full Jew. So an Evet Kanaani has, because of the connection to the Jewish master, has a certain pseudo-Jewish status, to the point that when he's freed, he becomes a full-fledged Jew. The freedom document releases him from the bond with his owner, similar to the way a get releases a wife from the bond with her husband. So therefore, there's going to be similarities between the two. But the point is that you can't just basically, that this slave is my property, and like any other property, you can be mafkar it. You could just go ahead and let it go. By case of an eved, you can't do that because the bond that the eved has, that the servant has to the master, creates a certain status creates a certain status regarding his status of mitzvahs, his status of a Eved Kanaani cannot marry a regular Jewish woman. So he's going to need that get shikhr. He's going to need that document of freedom to basically break the bond completely and now say he's completely Jewish, like a convert. Okay, so now the fact that we have both these documents for a woman to free her from her husband, so to speak, and to free a servant from his master. So there are going to be similar laws regarding them. So echad gitei nashim, echad shechrurei avadim, both a bill of divorce for a woman and a document of freedom for a slave, shavu l'meilech u'lemevi. They are equal regarding somebody who brings from outside of Eretz Yisrael, from Melech, someone who brings from Eretz Yisrael to overseas. That's Melech, taking two, going from Eretz Yisrael to outside of Eretz Yisrael. Ulamevi, somebody who brings a get from outside of Eretz Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael. Meaning, we said before, if a shliach, if an agent brings a bill of divorce from Eretz Yisrael to outside of Eretz Yisrael, or vice versa, what does a shliach have to do? The shliach has to say, "B'fanei nechtam, b'fanei nechtam." He has to authenticate it by saying, "It was in front of me written, in front of me it was signed, in front of me it was signed." The same thing is going to be if, let's say, the servant and the master are in different places. One's in Eretz Yisrael, and one's in Chutz La'aretz, one's outside of Eretz Yisrael. Whether if it's going from Eretz Yisrael to outside of Eretz Yisrael, or outside of Eretz Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael, and it's being done by an agent, it's going to be the same law. The agent is going to have to say, "B'fanei nechtam." He's going to have to authenticate it, because we really have the same kind of concern. By the woman's divorce, we have a concern. The husband can show up, and he's going to claim it's a forgery, and therefore we say we give the power to the shliach to authenticate it against any kind of claims of forgery. Well, the same thing can happen in the case of sending the get shikhr, the document of freedom for the slave. The master could show up one day and say, "I never sent it. It's a forgery. It's not real. The signatures are forged." And therefore, in order to avoid that, so when the agent brings the get shikhr, when he brings the document of freedom, whether again from outside of Eretz Yisrael to Eretz Yisrael or vice versa, he has to say b'fanei nechtam, b'fanei nechtam. He's got to make sure that he was there by the writing and by the signing, and then authenticate it when he delivers it. And this is one of other ways in which we have the bill of divorce for a woman and the bill of freedom for a servant being equal. Have a wonderful day. Good Chodesh Tov, and good Shabbos.
Thank you, Rabbi.